Morning. It's actually a chilly morning, but it's a clear morning. I think it's going to be a beautiful day. I think so. That evolution happens is undeniable under reasonable circumstances. Of course, young Earth creationism is never reasonable, but the overwhelming evidence of evolution is simply there. The biostratification of the fossil record, the shared endogenous retroviruses, the common anatomical features, all the genetic similarities, all these things that together are the cumulative evidence that makes evolution such a slam dunk. And I think the most important thing is the sheer number of devout religious people who accept evolution. The vast majority of biologists and physicists and chemists, astronomers and cosmologists may not be terribly religious, but there are plenty who are. There are plenty of devout religious people, many of them devout Christians, devout Muslims, devout Jews, who accept evolution. And many of them are scientists. And many of them find that there is absolutely no difficulty reconciling their faith with their scientific observations. So what is it about young Earth creationism? What is it? The one thing we find young Earthers have in common is a tendency towards conspiracy thoughts. Conspiracies, they're drawn to them. The idea of huge global conspiracies, complex, convoluted, and always utterly absurd. And this is one of the things they all seem to have in common, is a belief that there are huge global conspiracies by secretive organizations that are bent upon doing something nefarious. Another one seems to be right-wing politics. Of course, right-wing politics and conspiracy fantasies also go hand in hand. The fear of a mysterious other that is plotting against you in all things, for no particularly compelling reason, but they're still plotting against you. This is a very important part of the creationist mindset. But what about the science? Well, they dismiss the science. And they dismiss everything that the science is used for, all the practical applications. They dismiss all of it. Because it's a conspiracy. And somehow it involves communism and Nazis at the same time. And maybe the Illuminati as well. Oh yeah. But there's never any attempt to just examine the facts. And that's why young Earth creationism is, well, it's a three-ring circus. No two creationist preachers have the same fantasies. And so what ends up happening is individual creationists bounce from preacher to preacher to preacher, learning all the different fantasies and lumping them together. But the fantasies themselves are mutually incompatible. They contradict each other. And that's why these people can never come up with a cohesive, coherent theory to support their young Earth fantasies. Now, admittedly, I'm rambling a little bit because it's early and this is my first cup of tea in the morning. And the sun is just barely coming up. Almost, not quite. Yeah, but getting there. But in any case, I digress. Oh, young Earth creationism is nonsense. And increasingly, we are finding that these young Earthers are also bonding together with flat Earthers and people who have other equally absurd fantasies, and they all seem to believe in some kind of bizarre conspiracy that science is part of. What's the conspiracy? Well, they can never clearly explain it. But it's real to them. And it's absolute nonsense. But try getting a creationist to understand this. What can you do? Explain it and explain it again and explain it again and explain it again and explain it again, and they still never get it. What do you do? Okay.